Hello, I'm Rachel Bingaman, class of 50, Leadership Lafayette, and today we're interviewing Christine Isbell with Public Schools Foundation of Tippecanoe County. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Could you give us a snapshot of your organization and your role within the organization?
Sure. I'm the Executive Director of the Public Schools Foundation of Tippecanoe County, and we were formed back in the mid-1980s under the guidance of the three public school superintendents at the time. So the Lafayette, Tippecanoe, and West Lafayette Community School Districts saw the need for a privately funded organization to help students and teachers in public schools. So we were formed back in the 80s, and that sense of collaboration and cooperation among the school districts was very strong then, and it still exists today. Our board is 18 members, and each of the superintendents serve, as well as a school board trustee from each district. Our mission is really to promote excellence in education and to encourage classroom innovation, and we do that with a teacher grant program. So it's a competitive program open to all public school teachers in the county, and we generally award between $25,000 and $30,000 annually for classroom projects or school-wide programs as well. I lost my train of thought, sorry. To date, we've given over $750,000 to local educators.
Oh, wow.
We currently have office space in, we're a staff of one, and that's me. So we're definitely volunteer driven, and we have office space in the former Linwood Elementary School.
Okay, thank you. And then when working to attract volunteers, do you have a need for volunteers at this time, and what are you looking for in a volunteer?
I guess a couple of the obvious things would be a shared belief that really that every child deserves a quality education, and that by providing resources to teachers, we can improve the lives of all the constituents in the county. So those shared beliefs are super important. Other attributes, we certainly value reliability, so volunteers that can attend meetings and come to events. We also value responsiveness and communication, so volunteers that can respond to emails and phone calls and surveys, that's pretty important. And again, really that culture of cooperation and inclusion is really important for our organization.
Absolutely, thank you. And then what is your biggest need for volunteers at this time?
So in 2020, we moved our biggest fundraising event to a virtual event, which is the Cupcake Run for Public Education. So an event that usually requires about 100 or so volunteers just required a handful of volunteers. But we do hope that we will be able to return to an in-person event this fall. And so we're not quite sure if volunteers that we count on will be comfortable coming to help with an in-person event. So certainly might experience a gap in volunteers this year. We were able to continue our grant programs virtually. We became very good at using Zoom and Teams for all of our meetings, as everyone else did. So that all became virtual. And then we've been able to continue with virtual meetings this year as well. So, but we might experience a gap if we return to in-person events.
Okay. And then how are you allowing and having options for your volunteers to serve while also keeping them safe?
Sure. Talk again one more time about the race, but we do work with a race management company for the race, and they are currently hosting some in-person events in Indianapolis area. So they've got a really solid set of COVID protocols that are in place. And we work closely together with the West Lafayette Parks Department and the police and the fire to come up with those plans. There are a couple other ways volunteers can help without being physically present. We do like to identify a school advocate in each building. Since we serve the whole county, it's 34 different school buildings, and so we call them our champions in the schools. And it could be someone that has children at the school, or it could be someone that has a spouse that works in a certain building, but just as a way to share information to the teachers about our grants, and also to hang up posters for us and do those sorts of things. That's one way you can be involved. We also sometimes we do direct mailings, and so we can use volunteers to stuff envelopes and fold things. And we also sometimes have to bundle materials for school staff. There's one other thing. We're always interested in connecting with volunteers that can help strengthen our social media presence, or help with IT issues. Those are things that are, for a staff of one, it's kind of hard to maintain those things, and those things can be done without being physically present too.
Absolutely. It sounds like you have a wide range of volunteer opportunities available.
We do, yes.
Well, if someone was interested in volunteering, how do they get in touch with you?
Sure, I'd ask you to go to the website. It's psftc.org, and there you can learn about a lot of the grant the particular grant projects that we funded. But there's a contact us page there, and you can use the form, or you can add my information. Contact information is also on that page too. So.
Okay, wonderful. Well, we'll definitely put her contact information in the comment section, so go ahead and look down if you're looking for that. But thank you so much for joining us today. It was great learning more about your organization and the role they serve in our community.
Great, thanks for having me. Thanks.